Hi there, and welcome to this premiere edition, as my mic cut out on me, of Nursery Rhymes. But to have, doggone it, gotta go with the flow. It's been that kind of Wednesday. But to have a Nursery Rhymes, I gotta have a nurse. And here she is, Nurse Anastasia, or as she likes to put it, and I love this name, Nurse Nama No Fucks.
I love that.
Because like her, I've run out of fucks to give, especially given the past year. How are you, my dear?
I am doing great. I'm living on magical fucks.
There you go. There you go. Here's why here's why this podcast is now started. She came to me with this idea of her experience in nursing, 27 years worth, and she says, "Look, I want to help change the system and change how everything goes. And to do that, I believe I can share some stories that will help." So we're going to do that overview today, and then each week at this time, we're usually going to set it for 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Each week, she's going to share a story, put a lesson behind it, and we're going to laugh. Now, I will share the first story, and I shared it this morning on Snowman in the Morning about a helicopter ride that I never thought I'd take. After having blood clots in both my lungs, being rushed to the hospital by EMTs, and I don't like hospitals that much, but they saved my ass. Not to mention they saved my life. I was told by the good folks at Mariah Parham Hospital that I would be going to Duke. So I'm thinking, okay, get in an ambulance and do a 40-minute ride. I get to sleep. No, they mentioned the word helicopter. And I said, what the hell do you mean helicopter? We're going to put your ass in a helicopter. We're going to fly you down to Duke because this is an emergency procedure. Oh, you said emergency. Okay. So they gave me what'd you call it this morning? A Delilah to make me sleep.
Delilah, Ativan, Lord knows what else they gave you to stabilize you.
Yep. And then I got flown via helicopter to Duke Hospital in Durham. What a ride. But this is not just about all my experiences, it's about the good nurses experience. And believe me, when she told me this idea, I'm like, fuck, let's go for it. Let's do this shit.
Yeah.
So, what is the first story you want to share today?
Maybe my why, like why this means so much to
Okay.
me.
All right.
Um,
Let's do it.
I mean, my 27 years as a nurse, I feel like I've been in so many different situations because the one thing about nursing, which is so wonderful, there's so much flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much write your own ticket. If you get a good baseline, you start med surge basic when you graduate nursing school, you write your own ticket. There's
Right.
so much flexibility in nursing.
Mm-hmm.
So there were two things I said I would never do. I never wanted to do peds and I never wanted to do oncology, but I wanted to do maternity.
Right.
So my career truly started in maternity, easy peasy nursing, and I really didn't think I learned much as a nurse, but looking back now, my background has truly been in customer service. Like
Mm-hmm.
every person that I've met, I had the time to get to know them and treat them as a human being.
Yeah.
And when it came down to 23 years later, that when I actually had a health crisis, I realized where are the nurses that I was like, you know?
Yeah.
And
When it's time for you to be taken care of, and I found this to be true in my hospital visits, when it's time for you to be taken care of, there is no care.
no, you have to take care of yourself. And I think that's the reason God made me a nurse because I knew what to do in my all of my health crises that I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me see how truly broken the healthcare system is. And by me sharing my story, and what happened to me, I feel I can give people options or maybe think about things and ways they can heal themselves without, harming themselves. And I feel like it's very important for me to share my stories because the shit I've walked in, honestly, I made so many mistakes that I believe people can learn from my mistakes and I can give people other options and give people hope.
Yeah.
I've been on my deathbed more times and come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
And I can spread awareness for illnesses that people still don't believe are diagnoses. It's like I can do all this and I can do this from the goodness of my heart with the purest of intentions because I never want anyone to feel alone. And that's my why. That's
Yeah.
my bottom line.
And that's a wonderful why. Um, Tell me about your first NDE involved in your involvement in nursing. What was the first one that kind of steered you on the road toward this?
When I ended up in the hospital for 5 days, I was working a 12-hour shift at a local hospital on a floor I hated. I was working 3 12-hour shifts and I had a traumatic incident happen where a patient attempted suicide and they found her 3 days later with her cells and her everything, her skin started growing over where she was in her blood and her vomit and in her feces. And the night that triggered me, I had a flashback, um and I ended up having a very traumatic thing happen to me and I ended up in the hospital. And I was there for 5 days. And looking back now, not one doctor, not one therapist took the time to ask me what had happened in my lifetime or any trauma that I have been through. Instead, they looked at me like I had anxiety and depression and labeled me as such. And that makes me angry because I'm thinking, how many women are misdiagnosed when all I needed was one person to think outside the box and say, hey, what's causing your anxiety? What's causing your stress? What's causing these physical manifestations and symptoms? And looking back, I'm seeing now it was so wrong, and that's why I had to leave Western medicine because I saw what happened to me, and I don't want that to ever happen to another human being. Like what happened to me could have been preventable if I had the right doctors, if I took more accountability for my own health and my own illnesses. But I didn't see it like that 4 years ago. So 4 years was my first true NDE, and I had to come back from the depths of hell. I had to learn how to walk, speak, write, talk. I had a significant traumatic brain injury, and that was 4 years ago on July 14th.
Coming
So
back from
I've
the depths of hell.
literally
Mhm.
probably, I don't know. And I guess, as I said it earlier, when you're a trauma survivor, you handle things differently. You're like, for me, my body, I'm always in a constant, my body is in a constant fight or flight because that's all I've known. I've only known stress, trauma, trauma, trauma. And seeing the damage that stress did to my body, I know someone can learn from my mistakes because I'm like, no one is this dumb. Like the first NDE, the second
Yeah.
NDE, I'm like, what am I doing here? And God's like, dumbass, take care of yourself. Hold
Mhm.
yourself accountable, fix your mistakes, stop being so hard on yourself, and you will heal. And love of God, a year and a half later, I finally listened to the big guy upstairs and I'm like, whoa, he was right.
Mhm. I'm
He was
learning
right.
to do the same and take care of myself with everything I've been through in the past year.
Have
And
to.
there's just so much that has been compacted into the last year. The
Yeah.
blood clots, the pancreatic cancer, the problems from the pancreatic cancer, the wounds on my feet, which are almost healed. And I am so hard on myself. I am
Human nature, dude.
it's
Human
it
nature.
I am so emotionally and mentally hard on myself that when I got diagnosed with depression in 2017, I didn't believe it. But someone asked me a very important question. They said, "Can you point to an event that kind of steered you down the drain?" And after thinking about it, and they said, you don't have to give me an answer immediately, but think about it. I did. And a couple of hours later, I came back to that doctor and I said, I can point to two events. And they said, what are they? The death of my father in 2007 and the death of my daughter in 2015. So as 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 Jody told me, I'm getting it from both ends. Losing a parent is one thing, losing a child is another.
Yeah, that's
And
some really deep shit.
within a span of 8 years, I went through both, and I lost my child twice, once to adoption and once to death. And I still feel I haven't properly grieved it. In time, I am, but it's a rough time, and I know that's one of the reasons I'm very hard on myself.
You
Making sure
also
my work.
haven't surrendered. If you surrender to your higher power, Brian,
Hmm.
God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whoever your higher power is, there is no more suffering. Your suffering, when you come to terms and let go of the anger,
Hmm.
your suffering ends immediately. I'm being totally honest with you. That's
And you're right. I haven't let go because I miss my baby girl, but there's gonna come a day, and I'd rather it be sooner than later, where I do let it all go.
she's always with you though. You just have
Hmm.
to understand that and welcome her because she's with you all the time.
Yeah,
She's your guardian angel.
she is.
Mhm.
And she's like poking me in the shoulder, going, "Daddy, you're not doing this right." Just like my daughters, Sonia and Cheyenne. Cheyenne is a travel ICU nurse, and just like my wife, are poking me in the shoulder, going, sir, you're not handling this right." And to be perfectly honest, since my surgery for pancreatic cancer, I haven't handled a goddamn thing right. And this is according to me. My wife will say different, my daughters will say different, my son will definitely say different. Like, dude, you're one of the strongest people I know. And I'm thinking, how the hell can I be strong when I'm laying on a couch weaker than a kitten? And
Because
then
you're
this week it just started to click. I can honestly this morning, after everything, literally this morning, having trouble with the pup, not realizing how strong he is for 24 pounds. Everything, my setup, and you were with me this morning when it crashed. And when that crashed, I just said, fuck it, and went with the flow of the thing. That it just literally clicked this morning. And that's probably why this knot in my stomach hasn't lessened, because I'm so damn anxious.
yes.
Is it not right here at the top of right here at the top of my stomach? Some days I feel it lessen, some days I don't. And now I'm tying it to the anxiety and depression that I'm feeling on some days when my wife is so stressed out. I feel it. She jokes with me a lot, going, "Oh, you can't feel this," but she knows I do.
Have you
Or at
read The
least-
Body Keeps a Score?
No, I have not.
Well, I truly believe you should read it only because what's happening is your emotions are in your gut.
Hmm.
Remember, we talked this morning, you heal your gut.
Yeah.
If you're able to heal your emotions and not
Hmm.
have the triggers that's associated when you feel so sick to your stomach, you need
Yeah.
to disconnect from the feelings that are making you feel depressed and anxious. Once you let go of the anger, I promise you, and invite God in, universe, whoever you, Jesus, whoever you pray
Hmm.
to,
Hmm.
your pain will be instantly taken away when you realize that life is happening for you, not at you, not towards you. You are in control of this. Get
Man,
control of the anxiety, get control of the anger, and tell your body you no longer need it and let it fucking go. And it takes practice, but I can promise you, if I can get up here and say I have no shame after being sexually exploited and abused when I was 9 years old, fuck. There ain't nothing,
right.
no one, no thing can tell me or hurt me because I've got God. I let go and I let God. And that is to me the biggest thing. Anyone who's hurting, that means to me, you have not given it up to God. because he
Yeah.
takes it all away. You'll still have triggers, but you will not have that physical so that feeling of I cannot go on. It
That
hurts too bad.
the feeling that sucks the air out of you.
Sucks it right out of you. So you take control over your body and you say, not today. Your daughter wouldn't want you hurting like this. God doesn't want you
No.
hurting like this.
No.
Invite him in, her, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
The peace you felt when we meditated together, that should be the norm. Ease and flow everywhere we go because you're so calm. What's happening is your brain, this is a therapy session.
You're the
Your
nurse.
brain Your brain is so full of the garbage that your limiting beliefs and society is telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not trusting your inner wisdom. You're not trusting that little Brian inside that just wants to be loved and give the unconditional love that you are.
Mm-hmm.
Your past is holding you back.
I had
Let it go.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine this morning at UNCG where I'll be doing some freelance work. I don't know. I think that was a positive trigger because I said some affirmations that I believe are going to happen. And I told him I plan to make it to Greensboro, whether we drive for a day or drive for a weekend and do the games I'm scheduled to do in person, beginning with basketball season. I want to take football season to like really heal. But I feel in my heart that I can make it to hoop season and we can do the games in person.
Mhm.
And I told him I especially want to do it for baseball and softball, and that we can establish the radio network, the UNCG radio sports network.
Right.
And my brain nearly interrupted me and said, "What are you fucking nuts? You're still fighting cancer. What's your wife gonna say?" I think my wife's gonna say, "Go for it," because that inner peace that you've spoken about so much, it's trying to come in.
Yeah. And you're blocking it.
I am.
But that's
So
normal. That's
yeah,
normal. Don't be hard on yourself.
yeah, dude. Okay, I know I'm gonna have to get out for a minute, but at the end of every one of these, let's do like a 3-minute meditation.
Sure.
I want to do this live, and I want people to realize that it can help.
Yeah.
So I want
Changed my life.
so take me through one. I'm gonna allow it. Um, big boy here, big boy Colt is under my chair. Take me through one. Just take me through one.
All right. So first what I want you to do is close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to take 4 breaths in, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. And really focus on your breath. Make a conscious effort. 4, 4, 4. In for 4, hold, out for 4.
Okay.
And what I want you to imagine is your feet. I want you to feel your feet firmly planted on the ground, Mother Earth. Imagine sand, trees, grass, leaves, whatever you want to stick your feet in, make sure it's on the ground and they're deeply planted.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to imagine roots coming out of your feet, going all the way down to the core of Mother Earth. This is how we ground ourselves because when we're grounded, we truly do live a life of ease and flow because we're constantly in the moment. So I want you to imagine your feet,
Mm-hmm.
feel them start to get a little heavy. You're really grounding them into the earth. My favorite is the forest. When I feel my feet touching the forest and nothing like it. And do another deep breath again for 4. In for 4, hold and relax for 4.
Mm-hmm.
With your eyes closed still, I want you to look up. And in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine the most beautiful, beautiful, magnificent ball of white light that you've ever seen. Golden, golden white light. And then I want you to imagine this golden white light coming down like a waterfall on top of your head. And I want you to feel that waterfall of beautiful, beautiful light and water just cleansing you from the top of your head. It's going down your face, your throat, your chest, your back, your belly, your backside, your legs, down your thighs, your knees, your shins to your feet. And I truly want you to keep visualizing that. And when you think about that water going through your body, cleansing and healing you, set the intention to release all the things that are no longer serving you in your body. Let all the negativity and toxin anger out. Just keep visualizing that waterfall just cleansing you, top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And then when you start to feel a little bit lighter, take one deep breath in, and on the exhale, truly let it all go. Let it out. Do that 3 times because you're releasing all negativity, everything that no longer serves your body, that's making you sick. Get it out now. And since we can't put negativity into the universe, we're transmuting it back into the most beautiful, beautiful white healing light. And this healing light comes from the core of the earth. And I want you to imagine this beautiful light that's coming up from the core of the earth, going down the roots of your feet. The light, the energy, the positivity is coming through the bottom of your feet, going up your shins, your knees, your thighs, base of your spine, your belly, your chest, your throat, and your head. You've got beautiful, pure, positive energy now infused in your body with no more negativity.
No more.
And you have a big, huge, huge bubble of positivity, love, and light wrapped around you that will keep you safe and protected. These are your angels doing their job. At the core is always God, Jesus, Source.
Mm-hmm.
And you are now protected. So what I want you to do is feel this feeling, this calmness that feels your body. You feel this calm. I want you to remember this feeling.
Mm-hmm.
What I want you to do is put your 2 fingers together and say, I want to remember this feeling. Whenever you get stressed, you want to come back to this feeling of peace because stress no longer has control over you. Good. I feel you already relaxing. Now, the last thing I want you to do is slowly open your eyes, come back a little bit because I want to show you something. Rub your hands together vigorously, your nails. Rub, rub, rub. Open your hands like jazz hands. What we're doing is we're activating our hand chakras. You feel tingling energy?
Mm-hmm.
Put that right on your heart. And whenever you get anxious or stressed, you feel that feeling and say, I'm safe, I am protected, I am loved. And tell the anxiety, get the hell away.
Get the hell
Boom.
away, anxiety. Oh, needed that.
If you spend 5-10 minutes every day starting your day off like that, I promise you, within a couple days, you're going to be like, I like this feeling. I'm not so stressed out. I don't react so much to shit.
Yeah.
It's magical. And the other thing for me is I'm not really my appreciation is my meditation. So throughout the day, how I stay very happy in this higher vibration is everywhere I go. If I'm in the car, if I'm whatever I'm doing, I look at my surroundings and I ground myself to stay in the moment, and I look at all the appreciative things that I'm seeing around me right now. That's
Yeah.
how I tend to stay in the moment. It's life changing. It's life
Yeah.
changing.
Got to remember that. And folks, if you did this meditation with us, or if you didn't, or if you just followed along, there will be more. There will be more like this. This is how we're going to close each episode. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And that's our initial episode of Nursery
Woo!
Rhymes. And we got more coming every Wednesday at this time. Thank
Can
you
I
all very
plug
much.
one thing?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
GoldenZenKundalini.com. That's my new healing business
All right. And
with David.
we'll 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 incorporate that in every broadcast, every Wednesday broadcast from here on out. Thank you, folks, so much.
God bless.